You know, as an aging athlete, it sometimes seems like each new day brings something sore on your body that wasn't sore the day before. Maybe you worked out really hard, or maybe some kind of overuse situation, and you wake up and you think, ow, that didn't hurt yesterday. What do I do about that? Well, I have some ideas on things that I've been using and have used, Mrs. Graniger and I, the last couple of years or few years, that have helped. And we're going to do 5 of them right now in this video. Here we go. Starting with these giant compression leggy things. We call them squeezy pants in our household, and they go from your toe all the way up pretty much to your hip, and you zip them on up and you hook them up to this little smart air compressor, and it's got divided air chambers in them. And when you start the air compressor, depending upon the setting you have it on, it'll start squeezing from your foot to your ankle, then it'll get calf, and then it'll get like up mid-thigh, and then maybe upper thigh, and it squeezes pretty hard, and then it releases, and then it starts all over again, foot on up. And the idea behind that is it's supposed to squeeze and help, get all that nasty stuff, the lactic acid and whatnot that's built up in your legs from a hard workout. Now, this isn't for something like it's sore because maybe I was an overuse. It'd be more like I worked out really hard yesterday, my legs, I want them to feel fresher tomorrow. So after my workout, I'm gonna sit with these things for 10, 15 or whatever minutes. I set the timer and I'll let this thing squeeze my legs. Sounds good, huh? Well, kind of is, but here's the thing with this. We don't use it very much. Mrs. Graniger bought them early on, used them quite a bit at first. I use them here and there. I'm not saying they don't work. Maybe they do. For one thing, they're very, very expensive to buy. These are made by Normatec. I'm sure there are others out there, and I don't know what they cost now. They were not cheap, probably 10 years ago when we bought them. The biggest reason we don't use them is they're a pain in the butt just to deal with. You see, we have it stored. It's a big thing, and you have it stored in an old suitcase, and you got to open it up and set it up and plug it in and hook into the hoses and sit back and boom the thing, and then you put it all away, and it's kind of inconvenient to the point where, well, the reason it's number 5 is not because it doesn't work, but because of the cost and the fact that it's just kind of a big faff to use. Number 4 on the list, that is a T.E.N.S unit. A T.E.N.S unit, if you've been to a physical therapist or maybe even like a chiropractor or something like that, and at the end of what you're doing, they stick these little sticky pads to you somewhere, and they're always too cold. They stick them on your body, usually like maybe on across your back or something like that. And then they'll hook it to this machine, this big beeping thing, and it sends these pulsing electrical currents through them, and your muscles kind of tighten up and relax and everything, yeah, involuntarily. Kind of fun, right? And pretty darn effective too. Well, they have those for home use, and we've had this one for, I don't even know how long. We got it at some county fair, I think, 20 years ago. I don't know. It still works just fine. I don't use it a lot. Mrs. Graniger was using it a lot. She had an old neck injury from a child. She tends to get very, very kind of tight up in here, and she found that to be a really, really good relief. One of the negatives of these is that if you want to stick it in the middle of your back somewhere or something like that, if you're home by yourself, it's really hard to place those pads. And the little pads, they do wear out after a while, and you got to get new pads. But generally speaking, I find this little T.E.N.S unit to be really, really, really good. Now, T.E.N.S, what does that stand for? I had to look it up. T.E.N.S, a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation device. Hey, how about that? Thank you, Wikipedia. T.E.N.S unit, I recommend it. I wouldn't use it necessarily on just for like muscle relief after a big workout or something like that, but if you've got something that's really fired up, and I think that is my solid number 4. Now, number 3 and number 2, well, they're going to share the spotlight because I think both of them, while different for different applications, I can't say that one of these two is my absolute favorite. Honestly, I like them both, and I use them both for different things. So let's begin with number 3, the massage gun. The electric massage gun, a little vibrating kind of pulsating thing that is really, really good for pounding your muscles like a tenderized steak. Now, we've had this massage gun. This one's made by Recover Fun. I think we bought this, I don't even know how many years ago. It's been at least 5 or 6 or more years ago, and we use it quite often actually, and it's been a really good one. Now, I don't have any association with them. I just bought it. It's been really, really good. And you can see it comes with multiple attachments in the box. There's some soft rubbery ones, there's some pointy ones, and the whole idea is, you turn this thing on and you activate it and it'll start, doing the tap, 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 tap up in the muscle, right? And you can increase the frequency of the tapping and you can dial it wherever it makes you feel good. And if it's really, really sore, acutely sore, you can just kind of back that off and do it really, really lightly. And I love this for, man, just really getting into that muscle and just getting all that junk out of there and working on sore things, not like you tore a ligament type sore. You don't want to do that with a massage gun, but like, along the IT band or something's pulled tight. Man, that thing is super, super effective. And I like the Recover Fun one because at the time, a lot of the other ones on the market were noisy or they weren't powerful enough. And you could, like on a big muscle like your leg, you could actually get it to stall where it just, it would stop. Not the Recover Fun, man. That thing's, it's good. And I like that it's quiet too. I say it's quiet, that's important because you don't want this big like sawzall kind of thing going on when you're doing PT stuff for yourself. The only thing we've ever had to do this was replace the battery, and because it just wasn't charging well anymore, and they shipped us a battery and we are back in business. So for me, the massage gun made by Recover Fun in this case, or something like it, that is a solid number 3. All right, number 2. We're almost to number 1. Number 2, slightly higher on the list than the massage gun. Okay, a little bit higher, but for different things a little bit. And that is the Prungo red light therapy unit. Now, I've done a video on that previously, and I'll probably link that at the end of this video. And that was something that I bought at the beginning of this year. I just saw an ad for it. Someone on YouTube was actually talking about a bike trainer, a bike fitter rather, that I follow. And at the time I was fighting an elbow injury. It was basically like tennis elbow, and I'd done some other things. And I was trying to get that to heal and everything, and I did. But it took a little while, and the red light therapy interested me, and what I read about red light therapy seemed to be a real thing, and it turns out that it is. On the Prungo unit now, I have a relationship, this channel, with Prungo and they sent me 3 extra units, and what I've been doing is, within my influence of friends and riders, mostly older people who have sore things occasionally, and I let them take it home, and I say, if you like it, you should buy one, because if it makes you feel better now, it'll probably keep making you feel better. So the Prungo unit, what I like about that, that's for like a really, like you've got something in a edge of a joint, you've got some kind of tendon thing going on, or you've got something, an elbow that's sore, or a neck or something that's sore. That seems to do a really good job of reducing that inflammation and the acuteness and the pain and letting that heal. You got to use it, regularly, but for some things, I don't think it's super effective. If you need a hip replacement, probably isn't going to help you there. But if, like the other day, I was doing my workout, and for some reason I'm kind of annoying something right there on the elbow. Who knows? Something I'm doing in the workout, and so I'm going to modify that. But in the meantime, I sat around with the Prungo light unit on that while I was just watching TV, and I noticed it has just been feeling better. One thing I like about the Prungo, where the massage gun, you've got to actively do it. So, and it's kind of fatiguing, right? Thing's kind of a little bit heavy, and you're using it and using it and using it, and pretty soon you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. Well, the Prungo, you just kind of sit, and it's doing its job while you're, watching TV or doing computer work or whatever you need to do. So it's more passive, where the massage gun, for what it's good for, takes a little bit more activity on your part. All right, that is number 2. Now, number 1 coming up might be the best one of all. And the best thing about the best one of all, it's pretty much free. Free. Some of these things have cost quite a bit of money. All of them cost something. And, sometimes you think, well, I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. Well, what else can I do, Granny Gear? Well, You can just get down on the floor and stretch. You can just stretch whether you're actually standing, sitting, laying down, or what have you. This is what I love about stretching. Now, mea culpa here. I don't stretch regularly as much as I should, and I'm also going to tell you I am absolutely no authority on how to stretch correctly. I'm not going to give you a stretching routine. There's lots of qualified people, I'm sure, on YouTube who can do that much better than I can. Why I like the idea of getting on the floor and moving my body in ways to just kind of see how I'm doing, really twofold. One is, if something's cropped up kind of sore, like maybe the outside of the knee, which really doesn't normally do that, but then this ride it was bugging me. Do I have something tight? Are my hips tight? Do I have an IT thing going on where things are starting to draw up? Are my hamstrings tight? Right? Things like that. When you get down on the floor and you start going through different motions and you will find out like, oh, now the left side isn't really tight or sore when I do that. But when I do that on the right side, oh, it's pulling tight. So you can work on that and you find out where your body is unequal or unequal. You find out where you're messed up. And I've got some old injuries, from years ago that are haunting me a little bit now, and I got to stay on them. And stretching helps me do that. Get yourself, if you got carpeting, you're fine, but get yourself a pretty good yoga mat, not a cheap one if you've got a hard floor like I do, and just kind of work through it and experiment and do it very carefully, do it very gently, do it slowly, because you don't want to hurt or tear something. But for me, the idea of finding out where my body is kind of out of balance and what's tight and what's sore and working through that, it's pretty much magic. Takes a little effort on your part. Got to get down there and do it. And then then after doing it, you got to get up off the floor. There is that challenge. But that is pretty much my 5 things that have put in place through the years that I think have helped me move through some owies that come up as you do what we do. All right, that's it. You guys have a great week and or weekend. And as always, well, go ride your bike. And if you're sore afterwards, take a look at taking care of yourself with, one of these 5 things.